What up, banditos? Big day today, isn't it? It is Wednesday, April 23rd, and if you're here on accident, well, congrats. But the rest of us are here because, yep, the devs are going to give us the deets on what is the Brooklyn DLC. Battle for Brooklyn, so it is called. And we haven't gotten the DLC since Warlords of New York. So, shit, it's been some time. And yeah, we're really looking forward to this, come what may. I say that just because we haven't gotten any content in a long time, right? So I'm not being pessimistic, I'm being realistic here. You know, we're gonna call it how it is. We're gonna check out the details here on this channel, and this is an uncompromised stream. We have not been bought by the devs or anything like that. So we are free to say what we want to say, and we're going to do that because on this channel we represent the community, not the developers. And so we made this choice a long time ago, and so that gives us the freedom to give it the good if it deserves it, the bad if it deserves it, and even talk about the ugly. And so cool, that's what we're going to do today. But fingers crossed it's going to hit hard, because we're rooting for this game, right? We love this game. We want to see it succeed. So we don't want to talk trash about it. We don't want to talk about the ugly. We want it to all be good. So, you know, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm managing expectations. This is what we know so far. We know that the DLC is not a mega DLC like Woni. So that was an expansion. This is a story DLC. Will we get missions? Yes. Will we get themed apparel? Probably. Will we get new characters? Sure. An extension of the map? Yeah. Will we get new mechanics? Probably, as, you know, additions and updates to the games as they're in there anyways. But we're probably not going to get new factions. We're probably not going to get new weapon archetypes and new major mechanic overhauls like our specializations, for example. But yeah, this is an area of the game that we've been hoping to be expanded, which is New York, because I think a lot of the player base doesn't really go there much, right? Appreciate that Prime there, Mr. Nate.
Ha! That's my boy!
So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to New York. Sir Nomad coming in hot, kicking off the hype train on Twitch.
That's my boy!
Good job, good job. So yeah, man, like it's gonna be a cool thing to be able to get there. What is it gonna be though? You know, we were speculating yesterday, and you know what I would like it to be, what I would not like it to be. So here's sort of my hopes and dreams. Although I want an extended map, right? Just, you know, another area to roam and to enjoy. Do we really need more control points? And do we really need more, what do you call those things? What do we call these things? These little things that I always skip. These propaganda broadcasts. I mean, is that what we need? Do we need more propaganda broadcasts and control points? I mean, I'll take them. I'm not gonna say I won't take them, but I'll take them. But is that what I really want? Nah. I think what we're all looking for, if you've been playing the game for a while, what up, Skelly? Good morning. Is that we're looking for some replayability, right? And we were talking about like legendaries as an example. So remember when they dropped the new legendaries? So they added Tidal Basin, the Zoo, and what was the other one? Tidal Basin, the Zoo. There was one more that they added to that pile, wasn't it? Maybe it was just those two. Was that the only two that we got? The extended legendaries? Tidal Basin, Zoo? I guess so, huh? God, I felt like there was a third one. Yeah, I guess that was it. God, I felt like we got three there. But anyways, Tidal Basin and the Zoo were big additions, right? They actually give us a lot of replayability because once you're in the end game, you know, you don't really do a lot of heroic missions. Good morning, Squatty. Blind, appreciate that, man. Thanks for that sub.
Ha! that's my boy.
You're looking for replayability, and those heroic missions are just, they get boring. There's too much story tied into those heroic missions. We have to do these dumb little activities. And you just want to rip. You're looking for the action, right? We're here for the action. We've done the story. We've been there. We don't want to repeat the story too much. And so that's what drives me to open world control points. That's what I do. What up, Street? Because that's where the most action is and the best level of difficulty, because heroic control points, there you got a lot of red dudes running around in there. So when they brought us these legendary missions, it gave us a lot more replayability. It expanded where the end game players can spend their time. Doesn't mean we do them like every day or anything like that, but it's more options. So more for the rotation. So what I'm hoping the DLC brings is something like that. Something like, not a legendary per se, but something like that delivers what the legendary does, which is end game replayability. Like what Big Tay is saying, like what a Kenley College is supposed to do, right? Acolyte subbing in hot.
Hawk, that's my boy.
What up, Jedi? A Jedi and a 49er. Look at you. Big dog. And so this is what I'm envisioning, okay, from the early details that they've delivered us, which is, have you guys all seen the early details? Have you guys all seen the trailer? Hopefully by now you have. I can run it here in a minute if you haven't. I don't think so, Big Tay. I think aesthetically it will be, because that's what they do, is they do a really good job of mirroring exactly what the environment looks like. I mean, Washington, D.C., I mean, if you guys are from Washington, D.C., I'm not, but people have said, like, damn, they did a really good job. And they did, man. I don't know how they did it, but in and out of all these buildings, it's incredible. It's incredible, you know? Blue is in the house. What up, Blue? Good to see you back, bro. So, like, I'm thinking, like, man, yeah, they'll probably nail it. They'll nail it. You know, it's going to look like Brooklyn. But there's going to be this central mission. I feel like, listen to the title. I think there's a lot in the title. It's called Battle for Brooklyn. What up, Sway? Battle. And so I think the whole thing is going to be a battlefield. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of action, and I think it's going to have to do with, I mean, there's going to be story in this too. I think at least the first time we do it, but there's going to be a culmination mission. Basically, they have this new model, right? This climax mission model that's tied to the manhunt. I think it's going to be something like that, right? Where with the battle for Brooklyn, this constant engagement, but that brings us to probably that oil refinery, and we're going to fight it out there, and that's going to be the mega battle. You know, that's going to be our replayable piece of content. When you go to Brooklyn, it's probably not to do a bunch of control points and propaganda broadcasts. It's because there's going to be this one mega battle mission that you're going to be able to replay over and over again. Sort of like Countdown, except hopefully not with 8 players, right? Countdown would be dope if it was a 4-player constructed content. Sarah, yay!
Hawk, that's my boy.
Did I see Sarah in the chat? I did. And she's on YouTube. You all have been blessed. So, you know, I would like, Countdown's really replayable. It's too easy, but it serves its purpose. And so it's good. It's good for the game. But if we could take that construct, that size, I mean, this Countdown is fucking huge, right? It's huge. It's a big map. I mean, that's probably the size of Brooklyn as far as map design goes, not in reality, not to scale. But I envision it like that. I envision what we're going to get is something like Coney Island, where you have these main missions there, and they're long, they're story driven, and they're focused. There's not going to be, you don't run around Coney Island fighting control points. You get what I'm saying? A little bit of that's okay. I'd welcome that. I would. But I don't think that's going to be the point of Brooklyn. I think the point of Brooklyn is to give us one really good replayable mission. And they need to nail that. All I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. What up, Scots? What I'm saying is that I would be a little disappointed if all it was literally a map expansion with a bunch of control points and cleaners. That would be boring. That wouldn't really be replayable. It wouldn't. You know, you would enjoy it for the scenery for a little bit, but then after a while, you'd be like, yeah, I'll just stick it to Washington, D.C., where all the action is. You know, so I know it sounds like we want that, and I'm not going to say what you want, but what I want, that sounds interesting, but no. You know what I mean? We want replayable, a replayable, strong mission. So something like Countdown, something like Paradise Lost, but doesn't have the shit that annoys us. I think they did really good with the master missions, the climax missions for the manhunts with master rank or difficulty. I think that the mechanics in those are lightweight, and we can handle that, you know. Oh, we got a hype chest. Let's open it up, folks. It's a tea party emote. There you go. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a new Dark Zone. I don't know. No, Jorgen, you're early. The official live stream kicks off at 9 a.m. It's not actually a live stream. It's gonna be a pre-recorded video just to manage expectations. Do you guys want to see the video? Give me a minute and I'll pop up the trailer. How about that? Give me a minute here so I can be quiet for a minute. Oh, Sagot gifted subs 10 times. Congrats.
Ha! That's my boy.
Give me a quick moment here. I'm gonna be a little bit quiet as I'm pumping up this video.
Six years ago, the Division 2 launched, inviting players into...
All right, give me a second. Let me fix the audio.
Six years ago,
you guys hear that
the
okay?
Division 2 launched...
Probably needs to be turned up a little bit, huh? Let me turn up the volume. I'll turn off the music for a second. Yeah. All right, let's watch this real quick. For those of you, let's get on the same page. Bertox coming in hot.
Ha! That's my boy.
So this is was released what, about 2-3 weeks ago?
Inviting players into a meticulously crafted vision of post-pandemic Washington, D.C. Today, we celebrate the incredible journey, honoring the community, the game's growth, and the people shaping its evolution.
From the 2019 launch to the recent Year 6, Season 3, Burden of Truth, we've come a long way. 84 title updates, including 13 seasons, game modes like The Summit, Countdown, Descent, and the Paradise Lost Incursion, as well as more than 200 gear pieces have kept the game thriving for both veterans and newcomers.
And we wouldn't be here without all of you
hunters.
agents.
I do hope for that.
Thank you for all your continuous support,
If
feedback,
Natalie
passion,
Sokolov
creativity,
is
and
involved,
never
there's
yielding
gonna be
interest in the game.
Sokolova.
To celebrate,
Let's skip this a little bit. Scrubbing. God, they stick this all the way in the back? All Here it is.
at the upcoming Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
That's it. That's all you get. Not much to see. But what we do get are the oops, wrong one. Turn on the music here. We get the focus on the cleaners. And then we get the oil refinery. And everybody wants that Lexington, right, Bag? For sure. Working and watching, right, Leonard? Right on, Leonard. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it's interesting, James. Like, PvE. Let me see. PvPvE is really hot right now in the market, and the Division 2's had it almost first. The problem with the Division 2 is that we don't focus on it enough for it to really be, it really needs to be its own thing. And that's what they were trying to do with Heartland. So Heartland was a market grab. They were trying to go in after that PvPvE market. Did you guys know that? So what else is hitting there? Marathon, right? Marathon is going there. The other one, we were just talking about it. Arc Raiders. That's another one going there. And so they're after that PvPvE market. It's a big one. And grab some of that market share. But the Division 2, the problem is like our mechanics get in the way. Our mechanics get in the way. Our PvE mechanics get in the way of a PvP scenario. The skills, the constant balancing, and the cheats. Do I think we'll get news on Resurgence? I hope so. No. But no, I don't think we will. There has been talk about a new skill. Where's that coming from? Where's the source on the new skill? Don Palione. Happy Division Day, Mr. Palione. Really? They posted the new skill teaser on X. Oh, okay. I missed that. Wow, look at me. I'm on X like all the fucking time too. Okay, I'm going there. I'm going there. I saw that premiere description. I must have overread it. I'm scrolling. Glossed over it. There it is. Okay. Showcase premiered at 6 p.m. Ready to know more about Battle for Brooklyn DLC? Tune in here. Probably not by you, Saget. You could try, it might get blocked. Okay. I don't see it, guys. I'm on YouTube. I must be crazy. You got, there you go. You got right there. Sorry if you got timed out, bro. You'll come back. Whoever dropped, probably tried dropping the link. Appreciate the try, though. That's crazy. I'm looking at the announcement. So I'm on Tom Clancy's page here. Let's see this. Don't miss the Division 2 Showcase YouTube premiere tomorrow at 6 p.m. Ready to know more about the Battle for Brooklyn? The end. And then let me click on the YouTube side. Battle for Brooklyn DLC and Year 7 Showcase. Let me open their description. Oh, there it is. Find out everything you need to know about a location, threat, new skill, and prepared for a glimpse. There it is. It's in the fine text. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm dumb. I was looking over on X. I was on X. Wasn't over there. New skill. New skill. New skill. Who this? Ooh, I am excited. We need a new fucking skill. We need a new skill. Oh my god, our skills are fucking dead, man. I've heard people talking about the skill chatter, and I was like, why are they talking about skills? I didn't see anything about new skill. But man, these skills are dead. The last one we got was the Achilles Pulse, which I'm finding really helpful. Actually, I'm featuring it in today's build. But besides that, before that, we got, oops, let's go over here. The explosive traps, which nobody really uses. They're okay. And then the healer traps were before that, which are absolutely worthless, right? They say new skills, so I think it's probably going to be a hazard protection skill. What do you guys think? There's a slot for it right there, isn't it? There's a little slot for it right fucking there. Just waiting for a skill for like the last 10 years. You know, they don't bring in new skills a lot. It requires a lot of foundation to bring in a new skill. But because it could break so many things in the game, right? So many things can go wrong with a new skill. And they don't have the original crew that developed this stuff. So that's troublesome. But I've always said, you know, they could just expand on the original skills. I'd be cool with that too. Give us a 5th turret. You know what I mean? Give us a 5th turret. Give us another hive. Something like that. Give us mini hives. These hives look fucking heavy, man. Cool boy in the house. What up, Cold? Why you looking on Ninja, man? You guys know our PvP dog, Cold boy. What up, man? What have you been playing lately? I've been missing your PvP shenanigans, bro. Yeah, I was saying the same thing, Cold Boy. I'm looking for, I think it's in the title. I think they're hinting towards something. They call it Battle for Brooklyn, and so I'm thinking it's going to be like a mega battle mission. That's what I'm hoping for. Something like Countdown, but that's more, you know, fight your way through it all the way to the end instead of a jogging simulator between obstacles. And only 4 players would be better. Ooh, a smoke mine. That would be a good idea, FGC. You know what else would be cool? Are claymores. Bouncing Betty would be cool. Yeah, right on, brother. You know, right now would be a good time for you to hang out in PvP, just to catch a wave. We got a double XP Dark Zone event. Good way to catch a wave and drop your thoughts about what's good with PvP. You know, cool boy, I was just mentioned it a second ago, how you know, Heartland, right? How big of a deal Heartland could have been, more than we realized. And this just came to mind recently, because Heartland was, as you guys know, PvPvE, and you know, that kind of confused us for a lot of, it confused me at least, but it was just like, where does this fit in the Division world? You know what I mean? Where's this supposed to fit? You know what I mean? Like, why? And I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll take my my PvP. Maybe it'll take my PvP slot, because I don't do PvP in the Division 2. I'm not a fan of it. And I was like, maybe that will nourish me in that department. But more importantly than that, it was a market capture. You know what I mean? It was a market capture, because that's what Marathon and Arc Raiders are trying to capture, and Ubisoft had their sights on it too. And they dropped that game. They could have been first to market. They could have been first to market ahead of Marathon by a full fucking year. And Arc Raider more than a year, right? It's been over a year since they canceled that. It could have been a big deal. That's what they were after, that big market share. Everybody's after it right now, right? There's so many PvPvE games coming out. So many. But the big ones that we're talking about right now are Arc Raiders and Marathon. But, you know, there's more than that. That's right, Fahrenberg. That's right. The Division is talked about when they talk about that marketplace. They talk about the dark zones. And yeah, it's almost the OG, right? Marathon Alpha is going on right now. Have you guys checked out that? It's got a little bit of it's got a vibe. Arc Raiders is sick. Dystopian future. It's PvPvE. So obviously you're scavenger. You go into these hot zones and you look for supplies so that you can upgrade your gear and your loadouts. And the goal is to extract safely. Along the way, you're going to encounter other scavengers. You could decide to attack each other or move on. But there's also a PvE element, which is these arc machines. Basically drones and stuff like that are hunting you. Kind of gives me a little bit of a Terminator vibe that way. It's like, and the look is like, if you can think of like the old early like Star Wars vibe, you know, where like there was that drab orange and everybody looked like they were from the 80s. You know, it's got that look to it. It's really cool. I'm excited to play it. Actually, I'm very excited to play it. It comes out this year. It's coming out in September, and they're also doing a technical test this month. I think it's this month. So yeah, I signed up for the technical test. We'll see if I get in. But both those games look really good. Marathon looks good. Marathon's getting, the difference between them is supposed to be the pace. So Arc Raiders is a little more strategy. So it's not all Twitch based like you might see in PvP FSP games. FPS games, first person shooters, where it's real fast and it's Twitch based and reaction based. It's a little bit more, Arc Raiders is a little bit more strategy. A little slower. But Marathon looks okay. It's looking pretty good. I think the art style, I'm really into the art style for Marathon, for both of them. But when I see the actual gameplay, I'm like, well, some of it is like awesome. And then some of it feels like you're in Legoland. I think that the environment needs to be a little bit more rugged. the characters are pretty cool. Some people are saying, oh, it's Concord 2.0. No. There is no wokeness in that game. A rocket launcher would be cool, Saga. Yeah, I agree. An RPG. The drops are on the screen for 30 minutes. This all starts at 9 a.m. So an hour. 2 named item caches for 30 minutes. A new wave hat backpack trophy for 1 hour. 2 hours, 1 exotic cache. And then after 3 hours, it's a new wave shoe backpack trophy. This runs to the 28th, so you don't have to get all this today. Sandro, you want the Twitch, and the Twitch drops are above. So yeah, welcome in everybody. If you're just not getting here, the showcase is going to be what appears to be a pre-recorded showcase. We're going to learn more about the location, the threats, and apparently a new skill. And they're going to give us a glimpse of upcoming Year 7 too. I'm hoping for more of a glimpse, to be honest with you. And if you're here, we're going to call it how it is, like it is. We're going to praise the good, point out the bad, and have deep-hearted talks about the ugly. That's what we call an uncompromised watch party. Yeah, I hope they hit it, Parabellum. I hope they hit it, man. That season 3 needs to hit, you know. You just get to these points where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't have anything to do. I'm tired of playing the same fucking mission over and over again. It's a problem with any open world shooter, but that one you get there really fucking fast. Awesome game, though. Awesome game. I'm rooting for it. Rooting for it. So I'm in for the long run. I'm in for the long haul. But season 3, if they don't nail it in season 3, they're gonna lose so many fucking players. I just don't know if they're gonna turn it around. Yeah, we'll get new weapons and exotics. That's not typically part of an expansion. That's just gonna come with the regular season update. You know what I mean? Which we're probably not gonna get today. I think we would expect that to be in a later reveal, the day before it launches, unless they plan on doing a PTS, which is you know, a week of testing, basically, or a weekend of testing stuff, and then we get an early look at it. But I have a feeling we're not going to get a PTS this season. Really, Cold Boy? Oh man, I don't know if you gave him a shot, bro. I thought the same thing going into it. I don't know if you gave them a shot. These exotic gloves, these Exodus gloves, totally not my style, man. They're not my vibe, but they hit hard. They're fucking good. All season, I've been running all red builds because of these things, man. Code name, appreciate you, bro.
Ha! That's my boy.
They're good. They're really good. You pair those up with the chameleon, and they reset the clock on the chameleon, the buff timer that resets when you get considered out of cover. These are fucking sick. What else did we get? The SMG. Yeah, the SMG is just kind of all right. Yeah, I mean, once in a while you'll use it. I agree with that one. Last season though, we did get the Centurion Scabbard, which is also really fucking good. I mean, dude, I ran like the Memento on like 9 out of 10 of my builds, and for 2 seasons in a row, I haven't been running the Memento because of more interesting exotics. That says something for me. But I hear you. There's some hits and there's some misses. The chest piece was pretty fucking weak. I was really excited for the chest piece and it didn't hit at all. Right on, Danny. And the channel loves you back. Don Polione is cheering some bits. Lock and loaded, agents. Let's see here. I'm gonna put on a timer in the corner so we know when this thing hits. We'll do an audio check before also. Yeah, you gotta try those gloves. They're fucking sick. They're sick. They're totally not my vibe either. I was like, oh, the gloves, I was like, the smoke bomb, I mean, it's cool for a minute, you know, but oh man, I can run all red builds, no armor on kill, and good to go, man. Good to go. That with the modifiers, I run modifiers, and so you have an invulnerable shield, the unbreakable shield. So,
Ha! That's my boy!
appreciate you, Fame. Okay, let me start a timer here. Give me a second. Scripts. Countdown. How many seconds are in an hour? It's an hour and 10 minutes. So that is 70 minutes times 60 seconds. 4,200. Jesus H, is that right? All right, let me get this. Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's the timer for the stream. For when we get the reveal. So we'll do a sound check and all that shit set up before that kicks off officially. Why aren't you ticking, buddy? Hold on a second, you need to be ticking. There we go. Oh, you guys don't mind if I go and shoot things while we talk to you? So this is a new build I'm testing for you guys. I don't have a very good hand basket. Pretty good little SVD here. It's a one-shot kill beast, determined. And the trick that we're running here is we're getting the 2-for-1 kills with Bewildered, Turmoil Knees, and then the Achilles Pulse on Overcharge is the nasty little thing that gets you where you need to be.
Hostile control point identified.
You did, Skelly? You were playing Division 1? That's nuts. I've been thinking about it, actually. I saw somebody else playing it, too. It's like, I should get in there. So we're on cooldown, so we gotta kick back for a few seconds here. Mr. Wolf, what's up? Yeah, apparently people were saying that the eggs are delivering. So even though there's no project, when you get 100 eggs, apparently you would get it.
Hostile supply convoy, heavily armed.
We might have to kick this off a little early. These guys are gonna.
Reinforcements incoming.
You got her though. She didn't die though. Didn't get a full charge on her. So I'm also testing with this scope, which is pretty cool because it gives you the option to zoom in. There's my backup. So watch this. Turn this on. Then we kick it off. Normally I would start to fight that out that way, but the Achilles pulse will push it so you don't have to chain kill your way to peak damage. So we killed that heavy gunner without having to actually shoot him.
Incoming hostiles detected.
We're unsuspecting fools.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
There's another one. See that? Nice, huh? So we lost our headshot kill capability, our one-shot kill capability, and the Achilles pulse gives it back to us because we're on overcharge. Now, normally the Achilles pulse always does that, right? But the problem with the Achilles pulse is that it'll choose like a stupid like elbow or something. You don't want to shoot the elbow. But when it's on overcharge, it'll give you the head.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
You don't need it after the one time, so you can save it. Basically, yeah, it gives you. I can just read it for you here. I don't use it a lot, so I don't have it memorized. Target a single enemy with a pulse which identifies weakness, highlights them, and causes damage to those areas to take headshot damage. So headshot damage anywhere to the body, which is great, except when you're applying headshot damage on a head, then you get those double multipliers, and that's how you get that big damage. I'm not actually sure what the multiplicative damage is. It seems to be approximately double.
I call bullshit.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
She's got frenzy on. Pain in the ass, so she's healing.
Go away!
So watch, I'll put on, let's see if this works. So I got the hand basket and we got turmoil, which won't be a problem because there's only one target. But we'll go into overcharge. If I get her to come and fight. Got her. So highlights are really open to get that head. There it is. So we just one-shot kill that boss with a weapon that's
Incoming hostiles detected.
you wouldn't think is strong enough to do it. It's not really. I have to switch weapons because we're not on overcharge. We want to waste it. So this is only a 4 magnification, but I wanted some magnification. I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage without any. You lose one of the strengths that a sniper has, which is range, you know? Like right there, that would have been a real hard shot without the scope. The 8X is good too if you want to pull in lower damage. You don't really need it though.
Enemy close!
There it is. That's it.
Armored hostile detected.
You liking the blue skin as your favorite, Josh? The blue screen?
Supply room.
Yeah, it's a pretty good gun. It feels really good with the modifiers and the RPM lifts. It's a little slow
Location.
for me
Guarded by
overall.
hostiles.
You know, the RPMs. But when you give it some lift, it feels great. It really does feel good with the Heartbreaker. And then when you're on Unstoppable State, level 5, your modifiers, it's a beast. I like the Pestilence over it, though. The Pestilence just, you know, with the RPM lift that they gave it, made it such a good weapon. And then they buffed the reload speed. Yeah, and its crowd control is sick, right, Viking? Its crowd control is, yeah, top notch. I tell folks, don't miss out on this, the scanner pulse with it, and the Night Watcher mask, so that you can constantly pulse people, but also, you know, trigger that status effect whenever you want to, instead of just relying on kills. Pretty big deal. What up, Fly Rook? You're on this side now. A good Hunter's Fury build? Oh man, Hunter's Fury is one of those gear sets that it's so good you could run anything with it, man. Like, I know that doesn't help you, but just saying. Just saying. You probably don't have the Ouroboros, but that's one SMG. I'm trying to think of an SMG that I was running it with lately that I really like. Oh, the Chatterbox. Yes, the Chatterbox Hunter's Fury is pretty fucking sick. Chatterbox is a really good weapon right now. It's got a few buffs that made it really good.
Detected.
I loved the Chatterbox when it first rolled out way back when. But then I set it aside, and they've always tried to buff it, and the buffs never were good, and they finally found it. You know, they finally hit it. It's my favorite SMG in the game right now. Believe that. Okay, so here we are. So we have no headshot. Headhunter is stacked, even though determined it shows there, we still don't have it. So we got to earn it again. And so this is what I'm showcasing here, is that normally, if we try to shoot one of these yellow dudes, we're not going to be able to do it, right? See that? So that's pretty weak. So what we got to do is turn on our overcharge and then hit the Achilles pulse on one of our targets. Choose this one. Try not to get foamed in the meantime. And we got it. You see that? And now we're chain killing. And so it's a workaround, turning this weapon into basically stronger than the Nemesis, because the Nemesis can do that, barely, right? And so it gives you the one shot
Reinforcements en route.
out of cover to kick off your chain kill. So without any stacks, and there's very few weapons that can do that. Very few builds that can do that. And so the Achilles Pulse gives this weapon the ability to do that. And you don't need your Achilles Pulse ever again, so you can save it. But your Achilles pulse needs to be on overcharge, otherwise you're relying on RNG. So what I do is I reserve it for that first kill to open up the fight, and then from there, look at these guys coming in like they're on track. I manage it, right? Maintain it, which is very hard to do. So yeah, so you only need to use it once. And so what you want to do is when you start off a fight, you just need to make sure you have your overdrive trigger available or be on overcharge. Overdrive is the modifier, if you don't know.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Now notice I'm running the tactician drone, but I'm not running the coils, and that's all because of the Achilles pulse. So microwave coils catches them on fire, but I'm not doing that because if I do that, that first shot kill is going to be extremely hard to get because they're going to be on fire, and that's the most critical shot. So unfortunately, I sacrificed that. But I am using a pulse to give me more blacklisted targets so I can maintain my overcharge.
Rogue agent eliminated.
We killed both of them. Nice.
Supply room access.
Get her done. Saving bullets.
That's why we're a team.
Bang, what up? Oh yeah, I have. Backfire is sick, you're right. You are right. Yeah, there's a lot of good builds. I mostly run Hunter's Fury with shotguns. When I'm running SMGs now, just so you guys know, I usually pair them with strikers. I like that RPM lift on my SMGs. But my go-to Hunter's Fury build is my XP farm build, and it looks like this. So it's the 1886 with Hunter's Fury, Memento, armor everywhere, even the holster. That piece just got re-rolled for some reason. And then I run Palisade, so I got 30% armor on kill with 60% bonus armor on kill. It's insane. We can run that build if you guys want to see it. It's the build that end all builds. What do I usually run here? Let's try it with the Achilles pulse also. I don't typically run it with the Achilles pulse, but let's try that. And then this we put on armor. What up, Necro? We're getting warmed up. We're drinking our morning margaritas. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Important announcement. Okay, so if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that we do community build showcases. And that time is swinging around again. So we were talking about your favorite builds from Discord. So we've created a channel on Discord for you to post your favorite builds right now, the ones you're using right now, and or for you to peruse other people's favorite builds in case you're looking for some good ideas and you're tired of running your same old riggedy rags. So this channel is on Discord right now. It's called Build Showcase, and there's no requirements to get in there. And the only thing we ask is tell us why you love that build. Post it and tell us why. You know, I love this build because, you know, it kicks ass in PvP and makes me look like a hero, whatever. I love it because it's team support. Saget, throwing in another 10 subs. Oh,
Ha! That's my boy!
appreciate you, main. Congrats to everybody. Howie, Squirrel, Captain, all of you. So I invite you to go to Discord. There's links below. Chat can throw them up too. Let me see if we can do the command. It should go. I'll do a command here. If you mods don't mind doing commands from time to time, that'd be cool too. There you go. So there's one on Twitch, and it looks like YouTube is having a moment. Give it time. Give it time. I could just paste this too. I don't know why Nightbot's been acting like a little biatch lately. Here, I'll just post it. There you go. There's a link. Invite. Go to that channel and post. Some people have been doing screenshots. Some people have been typing out their build. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. I prefer the screenshots if you can. It makes it easy for me to cruise. But so then what I do is I check out those builds and then I pick some to highlight in the video for everybody to enjoy the video. And I tell them, hey, these builds are pretty cool. These are why I think you should check them out. Keeps things fresh. And from your perspective, not always mine. So I love that. You guys have been doing a really good job. There's tons of builds in there already. Tons of builds. So if you're looking for build ideas and you're sick of watching my videos only, then check out that channel. It's a good spot. We also have build talks channels too, where if you like talking about builds, giving ideas or giving people advice, there's a channel on our Discord for that as well. The stream crashed? Oh, the Twitch side crashed. Oh my god, Twitch, why are you crashing, bro? Okay, cool. Sorry about that, Twitch. Yeah, I had a moment too. I think it was all those Twitch drops. Saget, you broke the stream. Was that on both sides? Did YouTube have a little bit of a moment too? We have 49 minutes until the reveal for sure. So hopefully you guys heard all of that. Shit. Le tubes.
Detected. Nearby location guarded by hostiles.
Okay, let me showcase this next build. This is my XP farm build. I think I have rifles selected on it. Oh, did Jason? Shit. Well, I was saying like,
Control point nearby.
I was telling it that. Oh, fuck, where did I start? Where did I end? So we have the build showcase channel. I was inviting you to that. It's a place to check out other people's favorite builds right now, current favorite builds, and for you to post your favorite build. And the only thing we ask is that just tell us why you love it. And I love screenshots if you can, but you can also type out your builds. But there's lots of builds there. People have been doing a really good job of maintaining it. Is Twitch still having a moment? It's still saying 0 viewers, but I see people chatting. Is there a mod over on Twitch right now? Can you tell me if we're live? Skelly, Squatty, anybody? Okay, McGunn, right on Mick. Thanks, guys. I don't know what the deal is. It says 0 viewers right now, but I guess it's catching up. Thank you. Sorry about that if it booted you. Hey now, hey now. All right, so same deal here. We don't need the Achilles pulse. It's just a shortcut. So what we're gonna do is go into overcharge. Then we're gonna tag a gold guy. And the catch is seeing if I can get his beady little head. I can't. Fuck. I mean, rifles are a lot easier than the MMR, I gotta say. I mean, and we're running all armor with this, right? I mean, look at this build. With 30% armor on kill. I'm not running the turmoils because I'd rather have the memento backpack. And I don't want to run a Hunter's Fury backpack. It sucks. Not worth it.
We got one down. Weapons dry. Gotta kill you.
Yeah, so that's the thing with rifles. So, I mean, that turmoil is nice and I'm really enjoying it, but you're so much faster with this, with rifles, because your target acquisition is dramatically different. So if we got a boss here, the one shot is punk ass.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Now, normally I'm running this with not that critical momentum, and then not this. I normally put microwave coils. That keeps us at overcharge. The problem is that first shot when they're on fire is going to be a little bit of a bitch, but
That's close enough.
and then when they're on crack, it's even harder. Move so fast when they're in a frenzy state. See, when they're on fire, they do that, and it makes them very extremely tough targets. Yeah, so this is the build I use to farm XP, build up those watch points, and when I need to rip through a rewards track or something like that. If you're not comfortable with an aggressive playstyle, you can effectively do the same thing with the hotshot build. See what the rifle is going to do on this guy. Not enough.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
That's why we bring along our good old trusty Nemi. Get her done.
The control point in proximity.
Blue, thanks for that sub. Shady Haze.
Ha! That's my boy!
Drops are live in 42 minutes. Identity! Look, folks. We got a true, genuine superhero in the chat. Name is Identity. Visiting us on YouTube. What up, Identity, man? Are you cautiously optimistic, my brother? How you feeling? What up, Spalding? Good to see you back, man. It's been a minute. Yeah, Joshua, the modifiers change every season. So this one came at the beginning of this season, the momentum. And so next season it'll be different, whatever it is. But we're loving this one, man. We're loving this one. So it'll be sad when it goes. Yeah, no need to do the hashtag drops thing. It'll show up in your little chat feed at the top. But yeah, it won't start until 9. So yeah, if we tried to run the turmoil, which I would love to do, we'd end up losing the memento backpack, and we need headhunter chest. So that's why we don't do that. We could run this with, I mean, I haven't tried this, but we could run this with a ninja bike. We'd lose the bonus armor, but at least we're not running the memento. And then we'd put that on there, and then we can't run the palisades because we don't want health. So we could run something. Let's try this. This will be interesting. I'm thinking something like the zoo if I have that chest piece here. We can run. Oh, there it is. Kinda. That one. Because if we get rifle damage and mag size, we like that. So then, I'll just put on headshot damage for now. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, Manny, go in to see the builds. Go into Discord, and then there's a page or a channel called Build Showcase. That's where our builds are at. Mr. ATG, what's good? We're just tinkering with builds right now, waiting for the hot stuff to come online. No, Cassie, I wasn't invited to Malmo. The devs don't like me. What up, you locks? Welcome back. How's the conference? You still at a conference? The timer in the corner there tells us when our start time is. 38 minutes. Yeah, it was a clever little strategy, though, you know, because they get pre-recorded approvals from influencers, right, on the DLC before they get in-depth hands-on with the DLC, which is a good little strategy. People said, "Oh, the DLC is going to be so great, you guys are going to love it," but of course, there was a paid vacation for that, and you can't lie, it's pretty hard to say anything negative when you're on a paid vacation in Malmo behind a camera, right? Being asked on the spot what you think about all the good stuff coming. You're only going to say good things, you know? So it was smart of them. It was smart. Good marketing strategy. Not going to lie. But that's good. I mean, we want the game to succeed. But lucky for us, the good side for us is that we have the ability to give our unfiltered, uncompromised feedback, you know, and that doesn't mean we talk shit about the DLC just because we feel like it. It means we say it, we call it how it is. You know what I mean? So if it's bad, we're gonna point out the bad parts. The good parts, we're gonna give it praise, and we're gonna have deep-hearted talks about the ugly. I think at this stage, what would disappoint me is if we didn't see if we didn't come out with an in-depth understanding of what we're getting. And I expect the price at this stage too, because we're just so close. Got shot on that guy, that sucks. I feel like I already don't like this build. Yeah, the Lexington's gonna return. The question is when. We gotta take out these guys, because if I don't, it's gonna keep taunting. Ah, missed it. God, he's so fast. Get all the way over there. So that's the downside about running the recoil, the coils. You can see that they're catching on fire all the time. Makes it a little bit hard to kill that shot. Once you have determined, it's not a big deal, but the first shot is the most critical.
New mag.
But it's working. We're getting our double kills. And now my power to get the boss up. Oh, fucking backpack. Under the weather. What's good, man? Right now I'm running the 1886, but SR1 or the handbasket, like if you're asking if I had to choose, probably the SR1.
Detecting additional.
I really like the handbasket. I am struggling to say it has a place in our arsenal that really makes sense, because I mean, essentially it's just a weaker sniper with a bigger mag. I mean, you can no scope with any sniper. Appreciate you, CJ. 4 players ride. What do you think we get that? What do you mean by that? 360. I don't know what that means. Oh, you mean a raid? 4-player raid? I mean, that's what the incursion is. Yeah, so the answer is yes, you get that. But they don't have any more plans for an incursion. Yeah, I think they realized they got mixed reviews on that. That fucking head.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Look how fast they're, man. And it makes it even harder when they know that right when you're about to shoot. God, he's so fast. Yeah, I don't like this build. It's giving me the trouble. Blue! You're gifting! Let me kill myself. I don't like this. Something's up with it.
Deceased.
Congrats to everybody, Jake. Don't panic. Digital, good job. Lucky winners.
Huck, that's my boy.
Appreciate you, Blue. Anyways, I was tinkering with something I don't really like. I don't like the loss of damage here with all the armor I'm running. It just made it too much of a pain in the butt. I'm sure I could tweak this a little bit. It's just not worth it. The build isn't broken. It doesn't need to be fixed. This is the original build. It's not worth putting the turmoil on it. You're just slaying everything, you know. But going back to the question, so just the question is why? Now, I know what makes an SVD stand out. And one of those things is missing with the handbasket. All right. So there are two things that make an SVD stand out. One is it's not a bolt action, so you don't leave your scope, making your target acquisition faster or consistent. So you stay in scope the entire time so you can put out your shots without having to leave scope. Where your bolt actions is after every shot, you have to crank your bolt so you leave your scope, and then you have to reacquire your target, and you can have to make micro adjustments, which could lead to a miss. You're gonna miss anyways, so you know what I mean? These dudes are all over the place. So, but there you go. The thing that this SVD is missing is the other defining factor for an SVD, and that is RPMs. That's the separator between this and the rest of the snipers, and what makes an SVD good. So, although it works and although it's great, I get the whole is that what we call it? Sight picture, maintaining our sight picture thing. And it's got a bigger mag. It's just, I don't know if it's worth it. You know, it works though. You know, it works, but the damage is there. It's nice. Maybe. I'm just a little bit on the fence, you know. We're getting all the kills that we need to. You know what I mean? I'm one-shotting a boss. We showcased it in Legendary Solo, and it does fine. It does fine in Legendary Solo. So I guess why not? You know what I mean? It's not bringing much new to the table. I mean, let me just take my SR1 real quick, all right? So we got our +5 rounds there. We got the same mods. So we could put stability here and stability here. And then we could put on the same scope. Now the SR1 has a little bit, so here's the difference between the two, right? So SR1 on the right. So it's a little bit stronger because I have expertise. It might be a little bit stronger anyways. The difference is 5 rounds. Stats wise, they're about the same. I mean, they're really close to the same everywhere. So, I mean, so you're just gaining 5 rounds, which is good. I mean, I guess I would take that. I guess I would take that. You know what I mean? Push comes to shove. That's where you're really gaining. The whole staying in scope thing is nice. It's just not, in this game, a game changer. It's a benefit, but it's not a game changer. Just because these NPCs are going to force a miss on you no matter what, even with determined. It's ridiculous. So it is what it is. But I think it's just going to come down to what's the difference between this and the SR1? 5 rounds. That's it. And that's a great thing. So I'm not going to pretend that it's not. 5 rounds is 5 extra potential kills, right? But it's no longer an SVD. Let's just call it that. So you know, it is no longer an SVD. So why didn't they just give us the SR1 with a perfect stat of 5 extra rounds? You know, right? You see what I'm saying? So they broke the weapon archetype. It needs to be fast. That's why we like our SVDs. But why didn't they just give the SR1 a bigger mag? But whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? The end result would be the same weapon with a bigger mag. So we got a full set of mods. The only other thing is if this gave us a mod that we weren't able to get in another weapon, because that sometimes can be the case. Because it's an SVD, you get this one mod that no other sniper gets, and I don't think that's in here, and I'm not going to bother to check. So, because I just don't think it's worth it. We got what we want. The double stability. It's a very stable weapon. 60 RPMs is great. There's nothing special about going no scope with it. There's nothing about this weapon that would say, yes, it is so much more inviting to go no scope. You gotta go no scope. There's nothing about this weapon that makes you go no scope. It's just a sniper like any other sniper. It is no longer an SVD. It does not act like an SVD or a rifle. So to force yourself into a no scope because it looks like an SVD, or because you think you'd get some sort of benefit from it, there's just not. There's no benefit for going no scope with this. Especially since the weapon's benefit is the fact that you can never leave your scope. So now you lost even that benefit. Think about that for a second, right? The benefit of the SVD is that it's not a bolt action. You never have to leave your scope because of that. You maintain your sight picture, as Reaper tells us. So if you go no scope, you lose that benefit, and that's one less reason for you to run the handbasket. What up, Buddha? I'm not saying don't run no scope, but I'm just saying, like, don't let that be your deciding factor. Don't be forced into doing that, because you are making your gameplay harder. But somebody recommended, I think it was Chevy, the ACOG scope out of 4X is really nice, because it's a variable scope. You can have the option to be in scope or not. So this is a good compromise. But play it like a sniper. It acts, it walks like a sniper. This is no longer an SVD. And I'm glad we talked about it, because I think I just settled my position. It's definitely worth using, definitely worth replacing your SR1, but don't treat it like a rifle, because it doesn't have the RPMs to deal with it. So. Oh, I don't know, Remark. That's a good question. The announcement starts in 24 minutes. We are going to go into, we're going to set up for it, make sure we have our audio in place and all of that stuff before it starts. So this is my Turmoil build. And then I do run the Nemesis as a backup. And I don't run the coils because I don't think it's worth it. So I run Reaper Scan in order to maintain the my momentum. And we don't have crits. And we don't have critical recovery. So you can go... I don't know. Right? We don't have any options here. They don't have good options for snipers. Yeah, none. I mean, I guess I'll run this in case I crit, but it's not really happening. I like that Reaper Scan symbol. Anything with the skull is okay with me. Yeah, my Habsburg chest is status effects and headshot damage. I don't really want that status effects. It's just, you know, me trying to make my unicorn here. But it turns out it helps with the pulsing, right? Or when you catch them on fire, if that's what you're doing. And then the backpack is skill haste. Not the worst thing to have. But yeah, I would like even more weapon handling. This weapon's got a lot of it though. Stats wise, we're running so much stability. You got that covered. 115%. 30% handling. And then you're getting another 10% weapon handling from blacklisted targets. Yeah, I need to I need to farm this weapon. Apparently it's only coming from the guy that crawls out of a hole. The Luke Goblin, but I hate farming that guy. It's such a boring task. I know, they'll drop someday. See if we can get this troll to come out of his hole. It's not 100% for me. The logging out, logging in thing is not 100% for me. I'll log out, log in, and still fast travel to 3 locations and still not get him. End up having to log out and log in again. You know, like right here if he's gonna come. So he's not.
Friendly control point detected.
"20 minutes to the reveal." Yeah. So I'd have to log out. Look at this fucking water, man. That is some reflection, bro. You guys seen that? I guess it's the moonlight. It's so glassy. All right, heading back to the White House. Let's so this is the showcase here. The waiting room. Right on, Ricardo, hardcore player from Brazil. Welcome. Crybaby dog is apparently awake. So when the reveal starts, I won't be talking over it. So I will join you in chat, and then I'll be taking notes, and then we'll digress. Yeah, we need them to make it good, right? Favorite weapon is probably the 1886. Yeah. The White Death is up there. Ghost.
Ha! That's my boy!
Yeah, the 1886 is up there, man. The Mantis used to be up there pretty high for me. And then the Chatterbox has landed on my radar. It's my favorite SMG right now. It's so much fun. It slays, man. Pestilence is my favorite LMG. I like all of them though. The Iron Lung's good. Bullet King got better. Blue Screen's pretty darn good. I can actually use the Sweet Dreams as a primary weapon now. That's pretty fucking cool because of some of their buffs to this. What's my favorite assault rifle is a real question. I don't know, man. What have I been using? I actually haven't been using the Lexington, believe it or not. The Chameleon, I think, is my favorite assault rifle. It's really good. I like fast. I wish it shot a little straighter, but on a striker build, it does a little bit better. Yeah, St. Elmo's is good. It's just not as good as it used to be because they did some nerfing to status effects, which really impacted the weapon. And then they changed the mod, which also impacted the weapon's build, made it so you had to add more crit chance to your build. So it's still great. It's just not as shiny. The Bighorn stands out if you're really good at landing headshots, like all the time. Then that's a good weapon. Athens, Greece. Perseus, welcome. My favorite build? Oh, man. I think right now, it's probably this Exodus Gloves one. That's a tough call, man. That's a tough call. I think, and I haven't featured this build really, just because I just don't want to confuse too many things, but featuring too many things. But I think it's this build with the Turmoil knees instead of Vigilance backpack, because you have so much extra power on the build. I call this a lot. Call this out a lot. Like, Striker's got a lot of overkill. There's just so much damage you're not using, you know. Because why are you here? We're underdogs, right? And so we're always taking advantage of any piece of damage we can get, right? So we create these striker builds, but in the end, our time to kill is so fast on these striker builds that there's so much damage that we're not even utilizing because of that, you know. So if you took off XYZ amount of damage, your time to kill, to your perception and your survivability and your gameplay performance wouldn't be impacted. And so I'm mentioning this because if you just put on the Striker's backpack here and to run your Turmoil knee pad, this is how much damage Striker has compared to everything else. This is how crazy this build is, how strong it is that this is going to take 50% away from your focus fire damage, and you're still not going to lose any fucking survivability. You know what I mean? That's insane how much damage this particular build has. Not every Striker build, this one. Because the Chameleon is bringing in all the crit chance you need, plus 50% more crit hit damage, plus 90% weapon damage with a longer duration because you're refreshing it on armor break. It's ridiculous. Look at the RPMs on it. You're got an invulnerable shield. This thing is fucking crazy. You could take away 50% of your focus fire damage and still not lose any survivability because you're killing so fast. That's fucking nuts. You know? So I think it might be my favorite build this season. I use it a lot. Great for legendary. Great for solo. It's basically got the same weaknesses as any build, which is its main weakness would be unlimited explosive drones pounding you in the face. Up action, Jackson. Did I do you? Mandatory break at the company. Good job. Okay, 12 minutes. Let's start prepping for this bad boy. So I'm gonna turn off the music here. Sorry about that. I know it's gonna get eerie silent around here. Let's put up this. Let's get rid of that little picture in the corner. Refresh that. Let's interact with this. It won't let me expand the screen until it starts, so we'll have to wait for that. Hopefully they have a little bit. Yeah, they usually have a little bit of a starting now, actually. So maybe we're a little bit early. Let's put on that music. Nine minutes. 9 whole minutes. Let's go. Yeah, no, the Eagle Bear is it's better than it's ever been, but it's still less than. You have to do a lot of compensating with it. I was playing it earlier. I did create a build for it this season. I ended up not publishing it. It wasn't a priority because a lot of people don't have the weapon anyways. And those that do aren't really looking for new builds for it. But it feels good. I mean, I was just laying in on those headshots and just killing fools. I mean, because the reason why is because of the extra 25% rate of fire you're getting makes it feel really good. Plus, you're getting the extra 20% weapon damage and reload speeds. And you really need to get out there with that weapon and go and get your kills, go and chain kill. And momentum helps you do that so much better than without it. And that's why I say it feels better now than it's ever felt. I know time goes, it's like watching grass grow, right? 8 minutes feels like forever. I wonder how long the video is going to be. They're probably gonna do dev interviews. I'm sure there'll be a couple of interviews. Changes to the DLC because of the DLC. You know, I would like to see something fresh, replayable. Not the same old mechanics that we're used to. The Ubisoft list of things to do that we get in every single game that they put out. I'm kind of tired of that, you know. A new formula that would be. Specifically to activities. But, you know, when it comes to like stories, and this is a story trailer, I feel like they do a really good job. There's not a lot of cutscenes. They do the comms in your ear thing. And the story is being broken into while you're experiencing the game. I like that, you know. So I think they've always done they've done really good about integrating the story with the gameplay. So I don't really have any big changes needed for that. What up, Win? Yeah, there's LFG. Yeah, and we do them by platform. Yeah, you know, the Lexington's pretty good. It's a good weapon to have. You're okay with not having it though, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm running, I don't even run it. I don't even use it. Just because there's more exciting weapons. It's a good weapon to have. Like if you were doing something like raids or going into an doing the incursion and you had to have like that staple weapon, that's why you would have it. You know? But St. Elmo's is fine, you know? But yeah, you want it. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying. You're good to go. Thanks, Cassie, for that sub.
Hawk, that's my boy.
I would, I run the Chameleon way more. The Chameleon's better. It's just that the Lexington is more of a, staple. Like, you know, it's suitable for all content. Where the Chameleon's good for legendary. But if you're playing at range a lot for some reason, then it wouldn't be. And so if you got those long maps or open spaces, then another weapon can do better. Canadian guy's back. What up, Canadian? The Exodus gloves action. Those are really, really, really good gloves. Red, what up? You know, a lot of the Striker got a lot more love this season because of especially the knees. I don't like the size of the mag. I think that's the biggest thing. The talent's okay. I feel underwhelmed when I'm using it. I do feel like I'm missing a lot of damage. And I'm not I'm not overly fixated on damage. Like I run weapons that give me other benefits all the time too. But that one, it's intended to give you more damage and I'm not getting it, you know? But yeah, that's just me. Other people are really enjoying it. So that's just me, you know? I want to run it on something of a support build. That's how I would run it. You know, I like weapons like that for something like True Patriot, and it just doesn't pair up nicely with that. Wolf, I know people are liking the Strega with the turmoil knees. You might try that. 4 minutes, 2 minutes. We should get a countdown screen from them, so we'll do an audio check. Make sure we hear their audio really good. Yeah, True Patriot needs to come back. Maybe we'll get it this coming season. I wish that the devs would come back and clean up some of these unused missions, you know? That would give us a lot to do. Think about if they came back and redid the summit. They turned Camp White Oak into a legendary. Coney Island's okay. I don't like it, but it's okay. It's there. Kenley College, the Pentagon. Imagine if they turned something like the raid map into something. That'd be really cool. I mean, the skeletons are there, right? It's all there. The base of the game is there. 60 seconds. I fucking love these modifiers, man. If it wasn't for the modifiers, man, this game would be so boring right now, bro. If you're a new player, you might not feel like that, but... All right, music off. Game audio off. Morning, Biko. Good morning. Kakashi's having a comeback. Right on. What up, Perez? Oswaldo. I still have to finish my original classified missions. Apparently, I haven't done them all. Hey, make sure you guys give the live stream a little thumbs up. Let people know you're here. All right, this should be going. And we'll have a timer. About 5 seconds here should go. Let's have an audio check. How's your audio? Too loud? Too quiet? And then I'll expand the screen. Give me an audio check. If it's just right, you should be hearing almost nothing right now. It's dramatic music. Kind of quiet at the moment, but let's make sure all our settings are right. So we're at max volume here. And we are on 720. Let's push this to 1080p. Tempted to go higher. I've never streamed in those higher qualities, so I don't know if it breaks something. Good, good. All right, cool. Oh, I think we're all nervous, huh? Some of us, man, we're really invested in this game, bro. I've been playing since 2019. You know? We want the best for this game. These are wild times. I don't know how else to say it, you know? I mean, Ubisoft is going through some shit. None of that's over. None of that's over. If anything, it's just really beginning, right? Assassin's Creed could have done better. It didn't tank completely, but could have done a lot better. But either way, it is what it is. It's chugging along, and you know, they announced a 10-cent deal, but it's not done. But at least we know there's a lifeline for some of the games: Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and what's the other one they sent over there? Was it Rainbow Six? The big three that they sent over there. But the rest of the games stuck with the old Ubisoft aren't out of the water. Ubisoft could be parted out. Or where the PC platform was just crumbling infrastructure-wise. No, people couldn't log into the game. It was breaking all over the place. I mean, from a year, right? It was like 14 months. And then they rolled it out on Steam in that same state. That's crazy. And you can see the negative reviews on Steam if you go back. They eventually fixed it with Project Resolve. Project Resolve was a fix for that. I mean, that was a long time, and that's crazy. You've never seen the studio leave their PC platform like that before, you know? So, you know, so that's one of the, so a W because they released it on Steam, and then a giant L because it was broken when they released it on Steam. Some people, I'm sure, it worked for them. But, you know, and then we had a bunch of W's, people logging in. We had some energy coming back into the game. And then they made some controversial decisions without player feedback, and then we lost a bunch more players, and, you know, here we are. So we just want, we need a couple of back-to-back W's, you know what I mean? to drive the energy, and hopefully the devs work a little bit harder to earn our trust. But we got to remember that these are the same guys, right? So the same guys that are launching the DLC are the same guys that let the game ride broken for 2 years. You know, the same guys driving the ship. So my point is that, you know, what's changed? Well, nothing's changed, right? So that's like when it comes to managing the game, expectations are what they are. Okay, we're about 10 seconds in. I'm gonna go on mute and I'll join you in chat.
Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Division 2 Showcase. We have a lot in store for you today, so let's go.
Year 6 has truly become a year of transformation where we've crafted an ever-evolving experience by making modifiers a core part of our seasonal framework.
With 3 distinct seasons throughout the year, each introduced significant changes to the endgame and our seasonal model.
As we look ahead to Year 7, we remain dedicated to pushing the game to new heights of accessibility for new players and engagement.
With only a few weeks remaining until the final climax mission of Year 6, let's take a sneak peek at what's in store for the upcoming Year 7.
Year 7 will focus on 3 main goals. With the constant influx of new players, improving and streamlining the onboarding process for new agents is more important than ever. We are also focused on adding more depth to the endgame, ensuring there is always something exciting to look forward to. Year 7 will solidify seasons as a cornerstone of the Division 2 experience. Our ambition is to increase the pace and situations, allowing for more regular updates and fresh experiences. Of course, seasons are not the only thing you can expect. During Year 7, we want to make the open world a more dynamic part of the endgame. For example, we're working on introducing an entirely new wrapper to open world activities that react to your actions while unlocking exotic blueprints farming to help you complete your arsenal. We're also focusing on the economy. More specifically, we have a package of revamps that will add more depth to the endgame progression, giving you more control over tinkering and item customization.
We aim to make Year 7 seasons a truly holistic experience by realigning the modifiers, gear and gameplay with the narrative elements of the seasons, including the manhunt and climax.
Additionally, we want to leave room for your feedback. As we run a live game, we do our best to stay attuned to your needs and remain flexible to try to align our vision with your expectations.
We'll be sharing more updates over the course of the year, so you can look forward to more news and announcements each season.
In Year 7, you can look forward to a variety of in-game events, including XP multipliers as well as seasonal projects.
Additionally, exciting new features such as weapon stats and resource boost will be introduced.
Year 6 introduced one of the most anticipated quality of life updates, the stash space increase.
In Year 7, we'll continue expanding stash space along with the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Talking about the DLC, today we are thrilled to bring you an in-depth look at Battle for Brooklyn. Battle for Brooklyn expands the Division franchise with a gripping new story. Whether you're a veteran eager to dive deeper into the narrative or completely new to the franchise, the DLC has something for everyone. For the first time, players can explore post-pandemic New York in the fall, navigating iconic Brooklyn neighborhoods. You can tackle the new challenges solo or in co-op, making this DLC exciting for everyone. Let's take a look at what awaits agents in Brooklyn.
Battle for Brooklyn is set in the faithfully recreated Brooklyn neighborhoods of Brooklyn Heights and Dumbo, including some familiar areas for the Division 1 players, as well as some new areas never explored in the franchise.
Main missions take place off-site to allow for a greater bespoke story experience on your first playthrough.
And the traditional side missions are replaced by replayable missions you can access from the open world.
To experience everything that Battle for Brooklyn has to offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4 control points, 12 living world activities, 10 bounty locations, 8 hunter readers, and a new set of collectible bounties.
We're going back to Brooklyn because sometimes you need to go back to where you started to see how far you've come. A lot's happened in Brooklyn since the prologue of Division 1. People have moved over, trying to escape the chaos of Manhattan, and they're looking to build a new life, make a change. Coming to Brooklyn in the fall is absolutely significant to our story. It helps us show the passage of time and our characters and players' evolution as we approach the 1-year anniversary of activation.
To bring autumn to the Division 2, we had to investigate firstly the vegetation and the weather. Via the foliage, we are dressing the city in warm autumn colors. For the weather, we have crafted something specific to Brooklyn. We went for a mix of warm weather with golden light and of course something moodier to try to capture the autumnal contrasts. For Washington Street, the iconic starting area in the Division 1 overlooking Manhattan Bridge, we wanted it to still feel familiar to the players, but also really show at a glance how time has passed and hint to what might have happened in the meantime.
The bridge is the heart of Brooklyn, and the people there have pulled talent and resources that our hostile factions would like to acquire. There, you'll be tasked with protecting the people who built the settlement. Some of the characters you'll meet at the bridge throughout the campaign are familiar faces like Theo Parnell and Dr. Candle, and a brand new face that we've really only heard her voice, Agent Hoskins.
When taking Candle from Division 1 to Division 2, we wanted to show that some time has passed. She's still wearing her same old ID badge, but it's now more worn and has some wear to it. And my colleague Marie's ID badge here at Massive actually proved as a perfect reference for this because it has seen some better days. When designing Melanie Hoskins, we wanted to make sure that you can recognize some of her backstory and her character design. So we gave her a very cute bracelet that says Mom that she wears that were made by her 4-year-old son Freddie. And throughout Brooklyn, we've hidden all these character backstories in their character designs.
The settlement evolves throughout the campaign in multiple stages. What we wanted to capture here is the feeling of community coming together, building and protecting themselves. Brooklyn was hit by the hurricane alongside Manhattan, only here things happened a bit differently. For some areas, the people in Brooklyn have come together to protect the shoreline from the hurricane, so its impact on the city has not been the same as in Manhattan. Moreover, the community has also started cleaning up after the storm. People in Brooklyn strive to rebuild their lives. They are looking into covering their base necessities in terms of food and water, so they are using the available space inside the city to do so, including the rooftops.
In the DLC, players will actually be facing an enemy that they are usually used to, or that they have been fighting already, and that's the cleaners. But there's a special twist on those cleaners, because they actually have a new weapon, which is what we call the Purple Flame. People might be familiar with the idea of the Purple Flame. Those who have played the Incursion, the Mirror Estate, they might have seen that already. This is something we introduced back then. But in this DLC, in Battle for Brooklyn, the cleaners have been able to find ways to mass produce this weapon, and this is really their main way of bringing destruction. This is how they've launched the assault on Brooklyn now, using that new weapon to really try to erase Brooklyn from the map. So as an agent, you have to go there, not just face the cleaners as you know them, but face the cleaners with that extra level of threat and of danger because of the Purple Flame. In-game, what this means, basically, is there is a new effect that is added to the usual fire effect you would get from the cleaners. Every time you face a cleaner that uses Purple Flame, you're not only going to be set on fire, but we're also adding a corrosion effect. And this corrosion, what it does is it's basically reducing your max armor. So the longer you engage in a fight against cleaners with Purple Flame, the lower your armor gets. And even if you use armor kits, even if you try to heal, you're only going to be able to go as high as what your new maximum is. And that maximum keeps decreasing the longer you fight them. And of course, this is part of our story. This is part of why the cleaners are coming to Brooklyn, or why you need to go there and stop them, because it's an unusual threat. It's something that even the civilians in Brooklyn are not used to. We're going to have to find out how did they produce it, where are they producing it, and how did they get all the supplies they need to actually be able to mass produce this new weapon.
No Division story would be complete without the Hunters. In Brooklyn, we have 8 new riddles and 8 masks that you can unlock, if you're willing to take on the challenge.
For the Brooklyn Hunters, we wanted their uniforms to actually match their mask designs a bit more than they usually do, and that will also echo into the game design of the puzzles that unlocks them. We wanted to create a cohesive theme while maintaining the amazing classic Hunter look.
Control points are a big part of the open world. With Brooklyn, we've taken them one step further. Based on faction ownership, players can expect a different challenge every time they encounter the same control points. Each hostile faction has its own unique ingredients. The Cleaners have the Purple Flame, while the Rikers also have some surprises up their sleeve. Players can expect to encounter those new ingredients in every control point in Brooklyn. For players wanting a bigger challenge, increasing the global difficulty will also have an impact on the amount of ingredients that they encounter in the control points. Smart Cover returns in Battle for Brooklyn as a reimagined skill for PvE and PvP. Using the Smart Cover will reinforce cover, grant buffs to offense and defense, and enhance pulse resistance for all allies.
Players can choose between two variants, the Precision Smart Cover and the Fortified Smart Cover. Both variants have some stats tuned differently for PvP.
In the DLC, we have a new exotic mask called the Catalyst, and it's actually perfect against the cleaners as it gives bonus for dealing and receiving status effect damage. So while burning, you can maintain ADS without disruption. When doing the effect for the Catalyst, we wanted to invoke the feeling of a dying fire. So when you move, the air stokes the fires, causing the mask to flare up more and more the faster you go. But when you stop, the fire slowly dies and only smoke remains.
Battle for Brooklyn launches on May 27, 2025. The DLC will be available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. For those of you who already own The Division 2, Battle for Brooklyn will be available as a standalone product for €14.99. The Battle for Brooklyn Deluxe DLC will also be available, including exclusive cosmetics. You can visit Ubisoft Store to see the options and wishlist the DLC. If you have friends who don't own the game yet, let them know that the DLC will also be available for new players in our new Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition, giving them immediate access to the main game, Warlords of New York expansion, and the Battle for Brooklyn DLC in May. No matter through which edition you decide to get the DLC, it comes with a level 40 boost, allowing you to jump right into the Battle for Brooklyn campaign, and 50 stash space slots, also accessible in the main game.
Working on the Division 2 DLC was an exciting challenge for us.
We're thrilled to be bringing players back to New York, and we can't wait for you to play the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Thank you for watching. Now, let's go where it all began. And don't forget to mark your calendars. The rendezvous is planned for May 27th. See you in Brooklyn, agents.
This might continue. This might continue. Let's see what they say. Or it doesn't. That's it. I mean, that's short and sweet. We got a lot of intel. I recorded it so we can watch it back. Wow, what are you guys' impressions? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Let us hear. I got mine. Yeah, I mean, why not? Of course. I'm playing it no matter what. Even if it was the shittiest DLC in the planet, I'm going to play it. That's my job. And then you can sit there on the sideline and watch and experience it through my gameplay and decide if you're on board or not, right? But hopefully my wrap-up video will break into more. But if you guys don't mind, chat it out here for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the recording so we can scrub through some certain spots and point out some details, because there was a lot in there. I feel like, but just to give it to you right now, like real quick, I feel like it was comprehensive. I feel like they thought about everything and they gave some fresh takes on some existing mechanics, which I think was a smart use of their resources, because we know they're limited, right? Let's just keep it real. We know they can't redesign the entire world of the Division 2. They just don't have that ability. So for a story DLC, I think they touched on all the things, including the skill. I love to see the skill. That was exactly what we talked about earlier, right? We were like, you know, if they can't come up with a new skill, at least repurpose one of their, or add a variant to an existing skill. And that's what they did, which apparently it looks like a chem launcher, right? So they added a variant to the chem launcher skills. And I feel like they should continue to do that, right? But they also mentioned more stash space coming through year 7. That's awesome. Including the first 50 slots, but we got a confirmation on the date. We said we had to hear that today. It's going to be May 27th. We nailed it, folks. We nailed it right here on this channel. We called it first. May 27th, $14.99. Nailed it. Nailed both of those points in our leaks reveal video a week or two ago. So, yeah, you know. So solo or co-op, of course, because it looks like it's just a main extension. Okay, that being said, give me a minute here. Let me pull in. We're gonna pull this in. And we're gonna scrub through it. So exciting. Let's see here. Image. Let me replace this image in the corner here real quick with a new one. And let's look at the map first, right? So I took a screenshot of the map. So we're gonna have that bad boy. Feel free to take a screenshot yourself when I put it up. I'm gonna blow it up here in a sec. Image. All right, so there we go. Let me move it down so you can see your chats. And then, wow, that's crazy, guys. There it is. There's our map. It looks like there's room for more expansion in the future, maybe. So Brooklyn Heights and Dumbo, it looks like it's divided in 2 zones, split by the bridge. And then there's, this is the part where they were going really fast. So unfortunately, okay, there's a main mission on the side. Let me hide your chat for a sec. So we got 5, they mentioned 5, I'm looking at my notes here. So we got 5 side missions, 4 control points, and 12 world activities. I think that's what they said. So 1, 2. Okay, the world missions are the activities. I'll have to listen back through the gameplay. We'll check that part out. But so I think these world mission little pentagon things, I think those are going to be your control points, and they're around. It looks like they're around the perimeters. And then the main missions are these guys on the outskirts. Which looks like they're set up like incursions, which is interesting, right? It doesn't look like you can just jog over there. The way they laid them out here on the outside makes me feel like they got some intricate design to them. So 3 new missions. The question is, how big are those missions? How replayable are those missions? Okay, there's that. All right, I'm gonna leave that up for a sec. Let me bring in the video, and we're gonna scrub through some of those details. So I don't feel like we got a lot of insight on that replayability part. Like, you know, is it the stranded tanker? How many times can you do that, right? You know what I mean?
So let's go.
Year 6 has truly become a year of transformation where we've crafted an ever-evolving experience by making modifiers a core part of our seasonal framework.
Forward ahead in this. So this looks like the mission, right?
A few weeks remaining until the final.
Yeah, that's one of the missions right there. Some sort of mansion. It looks a little bit like the Merit Estate, doesn't it?
Climax mission of year 6. Let's take a sneak peek at what's in store for the upcoming year 7.
So this looks like back in DC. This is DC. That's all DC stuff. Okay, let's listen to what he says here.
Always something exciting to look forward to. Year 7 will solidify Seasons as a cornerstone of the Division 2 experience. Our ambition is to increase the pace and situations.
Increase the pace and situations. So he's not talking about, let's just be clear here. I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit. He's not talking about their drops pace. Because of the way he's structured it. It doesn't sound like he's talking about like the events throughout the season and the pace of them so that there's always something to do. He's talking about the combat pace. So they want it to be more fast paced. That's cool. I think that'll make the game feel a little bit more current too, because I think the newer games that have come out since the Division 2 are much faster than this game is.
Allowing for more regular updates and fresh experience.
Well, then he says allowing for more regular updates and experiences. So maybe I take all that shit back. Now he's talking about fucking seasons. Right? Oh my god, I just totally counted everything I just said.
Of the Division 2 experience. Our ambition is to increase the pace and situations, allowing for more regular updates and fresh experiences. Of course, seasons are not the only thing you can expect.
Yeah, so he was talking about seasons. I take all of that back. That's weird because situations is a weird word to use for that. Okay, more fast-paced season. If they really wanted to make us a fast-paced season, I'm just gonna say, cut us back to 3 fucking months, man. You know? Okay.
During Year 7, we want to make the open world a more dynamic part of the endgame. For example, we're working on introducing an entirely new wrapper to open world activities that react to your actions while unlocking exotic blueprints farming to help you complete your arsenal.
This was confusing. Are you guys catching this? Where are you guys seeing level 50? I don't see level 50. Did they say level 50? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about level 50. But we'll hear it again. I'll let you know if I hear it again. Let me scrub back because this is a confusing part here. So, working on introducing an entirely new wrapper to open world activities.
World activities that react to your actions.
That reacts to your actions. What does that mean? Because they're already reacting to us. I think what he's trying to say is like, if you defeat a control point, maybe reinforcements come. You know what I mean? Maybe the zone gets more spicy. You know? I don't know what that means, but it says while unlocking exotic blueprints farming. Why would we want to unlock exotic blueprints? All of our blueprints are exotic blueprints. Are they trying to say that we can craft exotics? But most exotics come with the blueprint. You know, there's a couple that might not, but what do you guys think for that? For new exotics, maybe they're just talking about? It would be cool if they were saying, well, you can now craft exotics. That'd be sick. Maybe it's like the Nemesis or chat box. Okay. Not all. That's true. Not all of them. So maybe it's filling in the gaps.
While unlocking exotic blueprints farming to help you complete your arsenal. We're also focusing on the economy. More specifically, we have a package of revamps that will add more depth to the endgame progression.
Package of revamps. We have a sorry, I'm taking notes too. We have a package of revamps. Now that's interesting, right? That does mean nerfs and buffs in secret division code. But that's expected, right? So just managing expectations here. That's expected. Like we're used to that now with every major update, whether it's lately it's been seasons because it's every 4 months. They've been going through and rebalancing things. So let's scroll back just a couple of seconds here.
To help you complete your arsenal. We're also focusing on the economy. More specifically, we have a package of revamps that will add more depth to the endgame progression, giving you more control over tinkering and item customization.
That tells me nothing, though. That tells me absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? We have a package of revamps. And he says more specifically, we have a package of revamps that will add more depth to endgame progression. That tells me nothing. Now, what I'm thinking is when he means by endgame progression, he's talking about builds, right? He's talking about leveling up your builds. And then let's scroll forward to
progression, giving you
more control of your tinkering and item customization. Appreciate the cheer. So I think he's saying we're gonna have more resources. I think more ways to earn resources. Honestly, I think that's all that was. A fancy way of saying that.
More control over tinkering and item customization.
We aim to make Year 7 Seasons
and then it's a new subject. Okay, so that was that. So all of those fancy words, we learned fucking nothing, and I hate that. You know what I mean? I can't even speculate on what that fucking is. It was so generic. You know what I mean? I was like, you might as well have left that shit out. I can't even speculate on that. And I know this game inside and out.
Truly holistic experience by realigning the modifiers, gear, and gameplay with the narrative elements of the seasons, including the Manhunt and Climax.
Additionally, we want to leave room for your feedback. As we run a live game, we do our best to stay attuned to your needs and remain flexible to try to align our vision with your expectations.
We'll be sharing more updates over the course of the year, so you can look forward to more news and announcements each season.
In Year 7, you can look forward to a variety of in-game events, including XP multipliers as well as seasonal projects.
This is all the same.
Additionally, exciting new features such as web.
This is all the same, right? But for new players coming into the game, this is new stuff for them. So if you left the Division 2 a long time ago, look at that. We're 476 on each channel. Good job, guys. Keep it up. So if you've left the Division 2 and you're coming back, like this is news for you. But if you've been playing for the last 2 seasons, this is the same.
Stats and resource boost will be introduced.
Year 6 introduced one of the most anticipated quality of life updates, the stash space increase.
In Year 7, we'll continue expanding stash space along with the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Big deal. So we're continuing to increase stash space along with the Battle for Brooklyn DLC. Sounds like we're going to get more, but they said with the $15 purchase, you're also buying 50 more gear slots. That's cool. And it seems as though they're going to continue to expand stash space.
Talking about the DLC, today we are thrilled to bring you an in-depth look at Battle for Brooklyn. Battle for Brooklyn expands the Division franchise with a gripping new story. Whether you're a veteran eager to dive deeper into the narrative or completely new to the franchise, the DLC has something for everyone. For the first time, players can explore post-pandemic New York in the fall, navigating iconic Brooklyn neighborhoods. You can tackle the new challenges solo or in co-op, making this DLC exciting for everyone. Let's take a look at what awaits agents in Brooklyn.
Battle for Brooklyn is set in the faithfully recreated Brooklyn neighborhoods of Brooklyn Heights and Dumbo, including some familiar areas for the Division 1 players, as well as some new areas never explored in the franchise.
Main missions take place off-site to allow for a greater bespoke story experience on your first playthrough.
And the traditional side missions are replaced by replayable missions you can access from the open world.
To experience everything that Battle for Brooklyn has to offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4
What do you guys think about that time? 6 to 10 hours of gameplay. Yeah, it's not bad. It doesn't sound, you know, it's not good, it's not bad. That's how I feel about it. It just is. It just is. Okay, there's a lot of, this is the part where we're gonna get a little bit deep on, because this is the part where I had some mixed feelings. Okay, let me go.
Control points, 12 living world activity.
Okay, let me scroll back just a little bit. I got a lot of thoughts here. This is where the good and the bad comes in, guys.
As well as some new areas never explored in the franchise.
Main missions take place off-site to allow for a greater bespoke story experience on your first playthrough.
And the traditional side missions are replaced by replayable missions you can access from the open world.
To experience everything that Battle for Brooklyn has to offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4 control points, 12 living world activities, 10 bounty locations.
Sorry. I had that image up. I thought I was looking at the video. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Greater bespoke story experience on your first playthrough,
And the traditional side missions are replaced by replayable missions you can access from the open world.
To experience everything that Battle for Brooklyn has to offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4 control points, 12 living world activities, 10 bounty locations, 8 hunter readers, and a new set of collectible bounties.
Collectible bounty set. What is that, you think?
Offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4 control points, 12 living world activities, 10 bounty locations, 8 hunter readers, and a new set.
Okay, let's hold there. Dave, you saw that? Character level they show was level 45 in the gameplay, so it seems like higher character. That's... Okay, we'll go back and look at that. Did you see what scene that was in? Okay, so 4 control points. Let me see if I got this. 4 control points, 12 world activities, 10 bounty locations. Nothing special there. So this is a typical map setup for us. Okay, so this is just a typical zone. 8 hunter riddles. I love that. How exciting are the 8 hunter riddles? Does anybody out there not gotten into the hunters? The hunters are fun, man. They're fun. It's like, I was just talking about this a couple of weeks ago on a stream. I was like, man, like what other game has things like hunters? It is such a cool concept. These ghost-like combatants that are super hard to kill that you have to summon like demons. I mean, they're so cool. That's 8 new masks. I mean, that's my favorite part of the game. I would buy the whole thing just for the 8 fucking hunters. I'm not gonna lie. I'd buy the whole thing for the 8 hunters. That's an update for me right there. Hunters are cool. You know, some of them are a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. Inconsistent experience for summoning, but they're really neat. The riddles are usually pretty hard, so they tend to be leaked. And then that kind of makes its way around. But that's how I feel like they were done in the past. I don't think anybody ever really figures them out. But that is one of the coolest things here. And then new collectible bounties set. I don't know what that is. But sounds interesting, and I look forward to finding out more. I don't know what else to say about that. They don't say how many missions are here.
Of collectible bounties.
We're going back to Brooklyn because sometimes you need to go back to where you started to see how far you've come.
I think it's 3.
A lot's happened in Brooklyn since the prologue of Division 1. People have moved over, trying to escape the chaos of Manhattan. And they're looking to build a new life, make a change. Coming to Brooklyn in the fall is absolutely significant to our story. It helps us show the passage of time and our characters' and players' evolution as we approach the 1-year anniversary of activation.
To bring autumn to the Division 2, we had to investigate firstly the vegetation and the weather.
Okay, they talk about a bunch of weather shit here. Okay, the bridge is the heart of Brooklyn.
What might have happened in the meantime?
The bridge is the heart of Brooklyn, and the people there have pooled talent and resources that our hostile factions would like to acquire. There, you'll be tasked with protecting the people who built the settlement. Some of the characters you'll meet at the bridge throughout the campaign are familiar faces like Theo Parnell and Dr. Candle, and a brand new face that we've really only heard her voice, Agent Hoskins.
When taking Candle from Division 1 to Division 2, we wanted to show...
So what are we looking at here? Is this the new settlement? Okay, let's go into this.
Backstories in their character designs.
The settlement evolves throughout the campaign in multiple stages. What we wanted to capture here is the feeling of community coming together, building and protecting themselves. Brooklyn was hit by the hurricane alongside Manhattan.
Did you hear that? The new settlement evolves in stages over time. So this is the Division formula, right? Like, it's kind of both good and bad. I don't mind it because we haven't had to do this in a while. But can anybody remember the last time we did this? It was the castle settlement, right? So remember where we had to defeat these things and did they do that over 2 seasons? It might have been across 2 seasons. Either way, you would beat a boss as part of the manhunt, and that would unlock a chunk of the settlement. Right on, Dave. I'll check that out. I appreciate you pointing that out. We'll scroll back to that. Guys, don't let me forget about the new season level because that is a big deal. But the part that's I'm just gonna say it like it is, guys. Like this is exciting and nothing majorly upsetting here, but it is a little disappointing to see a lot of repeat formulas. It's not super innovative. We've been here, done that. When it comes to this type of activity, it'd be cool. I like the settlement idea. It's a way to interact with the story a little bit, but I don't know. It's a little too familiar. Let's see here.
Players will actually be...
Okay, what they did with the enemies is fucking cool, though. Right? So, like, what they did with the cleaners and giving them a new ability, that is a nice refresh. We're not just fighting the same old cleaners. We're fighting the Merit Estate version of the cleaners. That's fucking cool.
An enemy that they are usually used to, or that they have been fighting. Twist on those cleaners because they...
Does this carry outside of this zone? Like if you go to the rest of New York and you encounter those cleaners, I wonder if you get the purple flame. So this new purple flame it's fire, but it also has a corrosion effect that reduces your max armor. And so your armor kits can't counter that. So you can armor kit up, but it's going to only go to your new max level.
Actually have a new weapon, which is what we call...
Also, look at his level here. Max level 44. What is that? Okay, let's talk about this. How can they implement this? How would this work? Yeah, is that just that's just SHD level? I was gonna say, yeah, that's just SHD level. Let me look at my current game. Because gear level's on your gear, not on your...
Come over here, Agent. Take a look at what I've got.
Yeah, that's just your SHD level. Yeah, because see that little symbol next to it, the chevron? That's a rank. Yeah. You'd have to actually, in order to, sorry, I'm showing my, let me hide this for a second. Yeah, so the gear level is listed here on your gear. This is where it's all saying level 40, level 40, level 40. But on my character in the top right, it shows that I'm level 100 of my season and level 16,000 on my character, which is where...
So let's go.
Year 6.
Sorry, I lost the slot. So it restarts. Which was right here. Okay, but we'll make sure. We'll make sure. We'll look at other places if they reveal gear. I don't think they do, though. What's kind of interesting here are these little symbols here. You see the hammer? What is that hammer? Do we already have that hammer? The little hammer icon? We might already have it. I can't react to that. He's right. He's sponsored. He was sponsored. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that. Joshua, but I can't. You know what I mean? I'd be surprised if he said anything negative about it. Right? Oh, I'll just put it that way. I'd be super surprised if he said anything negative about it. Not that he has to, but I'm just saying. That's why, like, this is an uncompromised watch party here. Like, I'm not being sponsored by YouTube. I mean, by Ubisoft Massive to cover this right here. So I can say whatever I want. I could say this sucks. I could say they could do better. I could say they should have done better. You know what I mean? I could say how I really feel about it. But if they paid for me to do a trip and then recorded me while I was in Malmo, I would feel, I'm not gonna lie, I would feel pressured to omit any negative feelings because I'd be so grateful for the vacation they just paid for to be in Sweden. And so it was a very smart marketing move for them. I'm not gonna lie, right? Because anybody who did their review while they were in Malmo are gonna have a very hard time saying something negative. The camera is on them. You know what I mean? Like, are you really gonna be like, hey guys, this DLC sucks? And if you did say that, trust me, they would cut it out. It wouldn't make it in the video. You know what I mean? Like, they're compromised. Not because they're bad people, but because of the situation, right? They're not bad people. They're just compromised. The whole situation's compromised. They did that on purpose, right? They made sure they had a substantial quantity of influencers bought. And the influencers weren't thinking about that. They were like, yeah, this is great, right? And I get it. I put myself in their shoes. You know what I mean? I get it. You know? You're like, great, I get to meet these developers. I get a free paid trip to Malmo. You know what I mean? And some Division life, right? I mean, totally cool. You know, I get it why they would go. But when it comes to the DLC, that was a strategy. They want to make sure that this group of people will not say anything bad about it. You know, are they reacting out of fear? Yeah, a little bit, because I mean, there's a couple of things. The good side about it, okay, you know, the good side about it is that developers need to earn back the community's trust. They have lost the community's trust a long time ago, right? And that is a move to win back the community's trust. These people have the community's trust. So if they were able to get these people on their side, maybe some would say buy these people, whatever the case, I'm not saying that, but if they were to get these people on their side, then that is the shortcut route to winning over the community, right? I mean, how many posts did you see on Twitter or X or YouTube where they were saying, oh my God, the devs are so cool, such cool devs. I'm so glad I got to go to Sweden. Everything was so awesome. It was such a great experience to meet these really cool people behind it. I mean, that is praising the devs in one way or another, right? And so that is a trust in marketing strategy. That is building trust. It just is. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I'm glad that they're doing that. In the meantime, it has compromised opinions about the DLC. Not that everybody's thinking about that, but I think about that. You know what I mean? I think about that. And so it's just like, because I think about it, it's like, very smart move. Well played, Massive. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people are going to be, I mean, there's some negative things and we're going to get into that. Okay, so lots of positive stuff here. I love this, what we're seeing here. I'm excited. It's not a complete flop. But I do got to say, I have some mixed feelings about it, and it's about the structure. I am disappointed. Let's just jump into that. Okay, so I am disappointed about the structure. And what I mean about the structure is, so we touched a little bit about the safe house, right? Not the safe house, but the settlement. Let me go to the map. So the new skill, although that's exciting, guys, that's old fucking news, and it's only exciting because they've dropped the ball for 6 fucking years, and we should have been getting skills every single season, guys. That was the original Division 2 formula. Sorry, I'm trying to find a map. The original Division 2 formula is new season, new skills. Okay? New season, new skills. That's how it happened. You beat the boss and they drop that skill. You get to use that skill, and it happened like that for so long. And maybe it didn't have to be every season. Sure. Then maybe they could have slowed the cadence down because eventually you have so many skills, right? Fine. But no new skills for 10 fucking years? Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So although that's exciting and it seems like it's innovative and they're doing something new, it's not. That is the original Division 2 formula that they dropped the ball on, and they're picking back up the ball. But okay, so I'm excited. So I'm gonna lay this down here, but to give you the real talk, what we're looking at here disappoints me. So before their video launched in the pre-show, we were talking about what I was saying to you, what I hope to see and what I hope to not see. And the thing I said is what I hope not to see is a simple map expansion with a bunch of control points. And what do we say? What are those things called? Oh, I'm looking at my map here again. Propaganda broadcast. Those were my words, right? I was like, what I don't want to see is a bunch of control points and propaganda broadcasts spread around just a simple extension of our map. And that's exactly what this is. And so that part's a disappointment. Okay, but I welcome a bigger map. It should be part of this, but what we don't have here, okay, what we didn't get is any insight on those missions, and that's important, guys. What we didn't see is the most important part. Totally, there's more to come. I'm just giving it just how I'm just feeding you guys just how I'm processing it. You know what I mean? This is real. This is my real feelings, right? So I'm not talking bad just to do it. I'm giving you the good and the bad, right? So, and eventually the ugly, but I don't see too much ugly here. So, but what I'm saying is, like, the most important part of this are those 3 missions. How replayable are they? Because the rest is just cleaners and control points and Rikers, apparently. Rikers, cleaners, and control points, right? We don't need Brooklyn to do that, although it'll be a little bit of a different experience because they're refreshing some other stuff in the game, like their corrosive effects and some surprises. So that's cool, and it's a different zone, and you know, it's welcomed. But the real meat and potatoes are those 3 missions there. And we need those to be really good. We need those to be really good. And I have no insight on that. I have nothing to tell you there. I mean, yeah, I don't want them to spoil the story, but it would have been nice to hear, like, hey, look, and the final mission that you play is going to be super replayable. I would have been good to hear those words, right? It's like it's a massive battle for Brooklyn, and like you're going to be able to go there over and over again and just have a ton of fun. It's endless replayability. These are the words you want to hear. Endless replayability. You know, what you don't want to allude to is this is another summit, another area of the game you're going to play once and never return to. Because that's what could happen. We're going to go here, we're going to enjoy it, just like we enjoyed Coney Island, just like we enjoyed the Pentagon the first time, just like we enjoyed Camp White Oak and the zoo, and then we're never going to come back here. It could go that way. But if those missions have magic behind them, then that's going to give us a reason to come back and to come back and to come back, you know. So that's what I'm hoping for. But we're just not going to know at this stage, you know. So that's the good and the bad, right? That's the good and the bad. So I'm excited. I think overall it's a W. I think there's some really cool stuff in here. The hunters I'm really excited about. The story is going to be pretty cool. I like that they're bringing back some old school characters. The new skill is going to be nice. Let's take a look at that new skill. So it's a reinforced cover, but I didn't see how it worked. There's like a green gas, but what does that do? You know, here it is right here.
Twist on those cleaners because they actually have a new weapon, which is what we call the purple flame. People might be...
Yeah, right, Knight. Like a new game mode. Essentially, like one of these end missions needs to feel like Countdown. You know? Where it's just like you can keep doing it and you can keep doing it, but more gritty, more fight. Because Countdown's just like, you know, this needs to be tuned for 4 players with that level of difficulty and all that stuff. But, you know, but Countdown is something where you could just do over and over and over and over again. Countdown's a little bit boring because it's a little bit easy, and that's why it's boring. Because you're playing with 8 other players, 7 other players. But if they just take that formula, shrink it down to 4 players, and you know, you got something, right? There's hunters in there. It's an extraction. It's technically an extraction shooter, right? Get your gear, extract, right? Alive. And maybe it is, right? Maybe these missions are a fresh take on our missions, because our missions right now...
Familiar with the idea of the purple flame. Those who have played the Incursion, the Mirror Estate, they might have seen that already. This is something we introduced back then, but they've launched the assault on Brooklyn now, using that new weapon to really try to erase Brooklyn from the map. So as an agent, you have to go there, not just face the cleaners as you know them, but face the cleaners with that extra level of threat and of danger because of the purple flame. In-game, what this means, basically, is there is a new effect that is added to the usual fire effect you would get from the cleaners. Every time you face a cleaner that uses purple flame, you're not only going to be set on fire, but we're also adding a corrosion effect. And this corrosion...
It makes it there's a lot to manage in the Division 2, right? You're going to have modifiers, status effects, and then a new corrosive thing. There's a lot of layers in the Division 2. Complexity.
What it does is basically reducing your max armor. So the longer you engage in a fight against cleaners with purple flame, the lower your armor gets. And even if you use armor kits, even if you try to heal, you're only going to be able to go as high as what your new maximum is. And that maximum keeps decreasing the longer you fight them. And of course, this is part of our story. This is part of why...
That looks good right there, right? That looks good. Look at that room. There's even a purple hue to it all. That's cool looking. They've always done a really good job with level design, don't you think? That's one of the reasons why I really want them to go back to some of our other missions and content, like Countdown. I mean, Countdown's fucking beautiful, man. You know, the big towers on fire and the broken elements. It's just so cool looking. They do such a good job, and I hate to see it wasted, just getting dusty over there and nobody playing something like Henley College or whatever, you know? It's like they do such a good job.
The cleaners are coming to Brooklyn, or why you need to go there and stop them, because it's an unusual threat. It's something that even the civilians in Brooklyn are not used to. We're going to have to find out how did they produce it, where are they producing it, and how did they get all the supplies they need to actually be able to mass produce this new weapon.
No Division story would be complete without the hunters. In Brooklyn, we have 8 new riddles and 8 masks that you can unlock, if you're willing to take on the challenge.
For the Brooklyn Hunters, we wanted their uniforms to actually match their mask designs a bit more than they usually do. And that will also echo into the game design of the puzzles that unlocks them. We wanted to create a cohesive theme while maintaining the amazing classic hunter look.
Control points are a big part of the open world. With Brooklyn, we've taken them one step further. Based on faction ownership, players can expect a different challenge every time they encounter the same control points. Each hostile faction has its own unique ingredients. The cleaners have the purple flame, while the Rikers also have some surprises up their sleeve. Players can expect to encounter those new ingredients in every control point in Brooklyn. For players wanting a bigger challenge,
did you see that? That was a fucking rocket launcher. Look at that top right.
Players can expect to encounter those new ingredients in every control point in Brooklyn. For players wanting a bigger challenge, increasing the global difficulty will also have an impact on the amount of ingredients that they encounter in the control points. Smart Cover returns in Battle for Brooklyn as a reimagined skill for PvE and PvP. Using the...
It's a sticky. It's a sticky.
Smart Cover will reinforce cover, grant buffs to offense and defense, and enhance pulse resistance for all allies.
Interesting. Reinforce cover, grant buffs to off. So it's going to be, yeah, it's interesting who would run it. Not necessarily a DPS build skill, right? It's going to be like a good for healers or tanks or team support builds. Let me see what I have here. These skills. So it says reinforce. It's a sticky bomb. Sticky bomb to reinforce. Cover. Grants buffs to offense. I wonder what those buffs are like. And what does he say? Resistance
and defense, and enhance
offense and defense, and enhance boss resistance for all allies. Interesting. It's weird that they call it in cover because nothing visually shows up. It's just a green chem. You know what I mean?
Pulse resistance for all allies.
Players can choose.
So I'm guessing it means it's like only in effect when you're in cover. We'll see, but yeah. I don't remember the smart cover in Division 1. Smart cover in Division 1. Was it, Jay, did it only work when you're in cover? Wasn't it a physical shield? It was a mechanical shield, but this one is a gas, huh? Yeah, because they had it for Resurgence. They showed smart cover as Resurgence. It was something you could deploy. A portable shield, yeah.
Between two variants, the Precision Smart Cover and the Fortified Smart Cover.
Precision and Fortified. And let me turn off the chat. Okay, so two variants. Precision and Fortified. Damage to targets out of cover. Ooh. That's a nice little boost. Weapon handling. Wow, look at that. Boost to weapon handling goes to 25% with the skill tier. It looks like damage targets out of cover stays, so they don't increase that.
Both variants have some stats.
And then this one gives you explosive resistance bonus armor. Wow. Base 50% and then a 10% increase. That's pretty cool.
Tuned differently for PvP.
In the DLC, we have a new exotic mask called the Cat.
This is cool. Hold on, let me write a note here. Gives things like damage to targets out of cover and bonus armor. Those are the highlights of that, isn't it?
and it's actually perfect against the cleaners, as it gives bonus for dealing and receiving status effect damage.
A bonus for dealing and receiving. Did you catch what the bonus is? Let's see.
Damage. So while burning, you can maintain ADS without disruption.
Okay. So maintain, because you can't do that, right? Maintain ADS. So dealing and receiving status effects: burn, bleed, shock, EMP, disrupt, poison, and blind, disorient. Builds stacks of catalyst to a maximum of 12. Each stack gives you weapon damage and status effects. It's not a lot of damage, is it? 2%, 25% damage. That's not bad. 24% damage. Each enemy within 25 meters that is affected by a status effect grants 1 stack per second. Being affected by status effects grants 2 stacks per second. Okay, stacks decay at 1 stack per second after 5 seconds. If there's no enemies in a radius. Reactant. At max stacks, killing a status affected enemy grants bonuses for 5 seconds. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty sick. At max stacks, killing a status affected. Enemy grants 25% bonus armor. And 20% reload speed. That's sick, guys. I'm wondering if that's stackable. Probably not, but that's fucking sick either way, right? They didn't say how many exotics. This seems to be a bonus exotic for the DLC. It's a DLC exotic. The rest are going to come from the season. So I'm sure there'll be 3 more, maybe 2.
Safe area entered.
But that's sick. Let's see if they can show us the stabilizer.
When doing the effect for the catalyst, we wanted to invoke the feeling of a dying fire. So when you move, the air
I think the stabilizer was just the ADS thing. But that's sick. Killing it 5 seconds. I mean, you can maintain that 25% bonus armor back to back. That's pretty...
Stokes the fires, causing the mass to flare up more and more the faster you go. But when you stop, the fire slowly dies and only smoke remains.
I've always said, like, I mean, it's not like overpowered. You know, you can get potentially 24% weapon damage and status effects, and then you're going to get bonus, and reload speed. It seems comprehensive and, again, interesting. You know, and I think interesting goes a long ways in this game, because if it's all about just power, that power thing just gets replaced by something else that gives you power, or it conflicts with something like, well, if it's about power, I'm just going to run the Coyote's mask. You know what I mean? Because it's just always there. It's easier. It's less complicated. You know what I mean? You don't want to get into that little tusk. You know, you just want it to be, distinct, so you don't have to do that. I want something more interesting and beneficial for me, more utility, or do I just want damage? You know, that's your question. This is going to give you damage too, but it's also going to give you status effects and bonus armor and reload speed, and that sounds more interesting to me. Well, depending on the stats. Did they give us an insight on the stats? Let's look. So hazard protection, red core with Has Pro and status effects. So let's write that down. It has a red core with Has Pro and status effects as attributes. Cool. At least it's got the red core. You know, the other things are supportive though. Support the beast. Yeah, expertise should be increasing. It will. But this is a level 40 piece of gear. If you see there, it says level 40. All the gear in his arsenal there is level 40. So, yeah. I don't think there's going to be a level 50, guys. I don't think so. But, yeah, expect expertise to go up.
You can maintain ADS without disruption.
Will there be an expertise cap? I wonder, right? Okay, let's see what he says. He closing remarks.
Battle for Brooklyn will be available as a standalone product for €14.99. The Battle for Brooklyn Deluxe DLC will also be available, including exclusive cosmetics. You can visit Ubisoft Store to see the options and wishlist the DLC. If you have friends who don't own the game yet, let them know that the DLC will also be available for new players in our new Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition.
Gold Edition. So if you get the Gold Edition, you're going to get base game, Warlords, Battle for Brooklyn, and then there's the Ultimate, which gives you the Year 1 pass. You're going to need the Year 1 pass. Don't you need the Year 1 pass? And then here's the Ultimate. Oh, the Ultimate Edition comes with the Ultimate, and then 1,000 credits. That's kind of a good deal. I don't know how much they're charging for it, though. Let me see if we got a... I'm going to look here. I'm not going to take off the video because it'll restart it. So hold on. Let me look in the store, see if they put it up. Yeah, it's not in our in-game store yet, but it's probably on Ubisoft. Let's look at Ubisoft.com. Store. Sorry, I'm looking on the side here. I'll let you know if there's something. DLC games, Division 2. There's an Ultimate Edition for $60, but it doesn't say anything about this. They might not have updated it yet. Yeah, it broke the link. So I clicked on it, the product, and it broke. Try it again. Yeah, it says it doesn't exist. So they're probably in the middle of updating it. Cool. Either way, it's coming. It's coming.
Ultimate Edition, giving them immediate access to the main game, Warlords of New York expansion, and the Battle for Brooklyn DLC in May. No matter through which edition you decide to get the DLC, it comes with a level 40 boost, allowing...
Hey, was that euros? It was euros, wasn't it? Right on, Sweat. Yeah, I hope so. Did they say it in euros or did they say dollars? I felt like you said dollars. Oh, it's both. Yeah, they're maintaining the price.
As a standalone product for €14.99. The Battle for Brooklyn
He says euros.
Deluxe DLC will also be available, including exclusive cosmetics.
He does say euros. I didn't catch that. He specifically says euros, so it's possibly $17. Okay, not a big deal, but we just gotta be as accurate as possible.
You can visit Ubisoft Store to see the options and wishlist the DLC. If you have friends who don't
Yeah, it's weird they didn't translate the dollars.
Don't own the game yet, let them know that the DLC will also be available for new players in our new Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition, giving them immediate access to the main game, Warlords of New York expansion, and the Battle for Brooklyn DLC in May. No matter through which edition you decide to get the DLC, it comes with a level 40 boost, allowing you to jump right into the Battle for Brooklyn campaign, and 50 stash space slots, also accessible in the main game.
Working on the Division 2 DLC was an exciting challenge for us.
We're thrilled to be bringing players back to New York, and we can't wait for you to play the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Thank you for watching. Now, let's go where it all began. And don't forget to mark your calendars. The rendezvous is planned for May 27th. See you in Brooklyn, agents.
Almost a month exactly, huh? So that's it, folks. Shit, we went through it all. Yes, yes. I am disappointed we didn't get more on the missions. That's where the meaty stuff is here for what us old end gamers, I would say, are looking for, right? We want that end game replayability, and those missions a lot goes into those missions. A lot. These guys do a lot on mission building here. The level design and whatever. And we want to get the most out of that stuff. You know, we want to go back. We want to get hours and hours and hours of gameplay out of it. And heroic, you can only do that so much in heroic story type stuff, you know. So we want to you know, get them to think a little bit more outside of the box than these linear missions like Jefferson Plaza and Lincoln Memorial. But every time I go into something like Jefferson Plaza, I even remark even now, because I don't go into these missions anymore, but I go in there when I play and I say every time, like, man, they do such a good job on these missions. I remember why I love this game every time I go in there. So I know the missions are going to be good. I know they're going to be good, but I want to get the max out of this development dollars, because this is what we pay for. This is where our money goes. You know what I mean? So we pay for this, and we pay with it with real money, and we pay with it with our time. And so I want my money to go a long ways. You know what I mean? And I want to spin my wheels in these missions and have fun and explore them over and over again. So I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched. With that being said, I think I'm gonna cut the stream off here, folks. If you're on Twitch, stay online and we will we'll raid. But for you YouTube folks, we are gonna call it a day, because I'm gonna download my thoughts into a wrap-up video and get that out there for you guys. Have some real talk. But appreciate you. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're on Twitch, hang around, because we'll go raid somebody. Appreciate you, everybody. Peace out, YouTube.